So we're just going to push on Tony's side onto his ground, but only until his license expires at midnight. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're in the water. I don't care if it's soup. Get it over the line. If we can get like 100 feet across that whole section, do you know what it's going to cost to move the back? Tony Beets is taking Parker Schnabel to court for stealing gold right from under his nose in a heated feud that has torn through the Yukon. The veteran, Tony Beets, claims that Parker has been trespassing on his land, snatching gold that isn't his. As the courtroom battle unfolds, it's clear this isn't just about gold. It's about pride, power, and control. Tune in to see how far each will go, because what happens next will shock everyone. The battle for gold and ego in the untamed. Wilderness of the Yukon, it's the Wild West all over again. But instead of gunfights, it's about who can dig up the most shiny rocks. And let's be real, it's not just about the gold. It's about bragging rights, big egos, and who can out-scheme the other to end up at the top. In one corner, we have Parker. Schnabel, the so-called golden boy who thinks he's reinventing mining. The place that I'd heard a lot about. I wanted to go check it out, see why there was so much gold there, how they were finding it, what the infrastructure was like, and what the miners were like, and see what kind of opportunities there were. In the other, Tony Beets, the veteran who treats his operation like it's still 1890, because to him, the old ways are the only ways. The stakes have never been higher, and the next move will either make history or bury dreams under tons of dirt. A lot of the stuff that's on the hill right now, 75% of that's got to stay there. The elder miner is stomping around the Klondike like some ancient Viking warlord, all about big hulking machines and dredges that belong in a museum. He's got a simple philosophy. If it worked back then, it'll work now. And anyone who says otherwise can take a hike. He doesn't care about shiny tech or fancy innovations. Give him a 100-ton piece of metal and some diesel fuel, and he's good to go. The younger prospector, on the other hand, is all about efficiency and cutting-edge gadgets. He's like the annoying, tech-savvy nephew who keeps telling his uncle that his typewriter is outdated. It's not that the young digger is wrong, but let's face it, this is the Yukon's dirt we're talking about, not Silicon Valley. Their rivalry started out innocently enough, a bit like an uneasy truce between a mentor and a cocky apprentice. The up-and-comer got his start under the seasoned miner's grizzled supervision, learning the ropes while trying not to get crushed by the guy's larger-than-life persona. But as the young man's ambitions grew, so did the cracks in their relationship. You could almost hear the rumbling as the apprentice started carving out his own empire, complete with drones, high-tech wash plants, and all the bells and whistles. The old-timer despised. It wasn't long before they went from a kind of mentorship to full-blown enemies. And all that tension has come to a head this season. That's a big one. And it's tough to do with a lot of it is like having good parts and having good parts availability in people and having some of that infrastructure on site. This isn't just about mining. No, this is personal. They have been circling each other for years, and it's clear neither one's willing to back down. Every season, it's something else. Disputes over land leases, who gets access to water, and most recently the seasoned dredger accusing the younger prospector of swiping his gold. Apparently, the young miner's ambitions got a little too close to his rival's turf, and the old hand's not having it. Now he's dragging the younger digger to court, claiming that the young gun has been sneaking into his land and hauling away chunks of his gold like some sneaky raccoon. The younger man denies it, of course. But does anyone really believe either? Of them at this point, these two are pros at pointing fingers and raising hell. The older dredger, never one to play things subtle, insists that the young miners turned from a bold risk-taker into an outright thief. It's almost poetic. The veteran's all about mining the old-fashioned way, and now he's stuck in an equally old-fashioned court fight. And while he could have settled things quietly, that's not his style. He'd rather take his chances in front of a judge, a spectacle for the entire Yukon, not to mention the audience glued to the show, just to make his point. The man loves a good showdown, and if dragging his rival through a legal battle isn't the perfect opportunity to flex his muscles, what is? The younger gold seeker, on the other hand, is acting like he's too busy trying to meet his ridiculous 5,000-ounce gold goal to pay his opponent any attention. He might not say it outright, but he probably thinks the lawsuit is nothing but a distraction. And that's his game. Stay focused, push forward, and hope the old man just burns himself out. But here's the thing. The seasoned miner doesn't burn out. He doubles down, and that's exactly what's happening now. The younger prospector may have the tech, but the older man's got decades of stubbornness. And that counts for something in this kind of fight. The lawsuit itself is just the tip of the iceberg. It's like watching two bulldozers heading for a collision, each convinced they're going to come out on top. The elder miner claims his rival's trespassing and taking gold that's rightfully his. And he's not interested in just compensation. He wants the young prospector to bleed. It's not about money. It's about territory, about dominance, and about putting the young upstart in his place. The younger man's legal team is, of course, calling the whole thing nonsense, saying it's just another way for the old man to throw a wrench into his operation. Meanwhile, the young digger's trying to keep his crew focused on the dig, but let's be honest, the tension's thicker than a Yukon frost. For viewers, it's high drama. Who's lying? Who's telling the truth? And more importantly, who's going to come out on top when the dust settles? The younger prospector might have youth and innovation on his side, but the veteran's got experience and an iron will. It's a classic battle of old school versus new school, and neither side seems ready to blink. The courtroom scenes, no doubt, will be dramatic, full of accusations, maybe a few threats, and definitely a lot of posturing. The older man's already got that glare, like he's daring his rival to cross him again, while the young digger's probably going to try his best to look like the innocent party, which, let's face it, is a tough sell at this point. And then there's the question of the gold itself. If the young miner's been mining on his rival's land, intentionally or not, it means a lot more than just a legal headache. It means his whole operation could be compromised. The seasoned prospector's made it very clear he's not just coming for compensation. He wants his rival out of the game, or at least cut down to size. It's the kind of ultimatum you'd expect from someone who spent their entire life digging in the dirt, fighting against every kind of hardship the Yukon can throw at them. The young digger's fighting back, of course, because admitting fault would mean losing face. And he's got too much riding on his reputation as the golden prodigy to let his rival steamroll him. Parker tries to keep their spirits up, pushing forward with everything he's got. But the weight of the lawsuit, the pressure to produce, and the relentless grind of Yukon mining are starting to take a toll on everyone involved. This isn't just a fight over gold, it's a clash of generations, mindsets, and survival itself. And as both camps brace for what's next, one thing is certain. In the unforgiving wilderness of the Yukon, only the strongest, smartest, or most stubborn will make it through. Don't miss a second of this real-life gold rush saga. Subscribe to the channel now and stay tuned as the battle for glory, gold, and grit rages on.